Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Hope you all are doing great. Welcome to Naya Sim. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash the subscribe button, turn on the notification so you get notified each time I upload. And please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much. And I want to say a very big shout out to every one of you for all the love, all the support you all shower me here with. I am truly grateful. Thank you all so much. So today we're talking something very vital. And before we get into that, I am going to say that I am really very worried for you all. And I want you all to really be very careful out there and very vigilant, because the way they are going, they are probably going to wake up one morning and decided to like poo black people. And the fact that something like this is happening in a department where people are supposed to protect life is something that I'm very scared of, you know. So this happened in North Carolina. Police officer fired, they already have it, they fired them already, but they discovered that the audit uncovered racist videos, right? And now let me tell you something. They started by saying that a civil war is coming, right? And he is ready. He is going to buy a new assault rifle. We are just gonna go out and start slaughtering effing niggers. I mean, they said so many rape and cis things, so many. And you know what? Stay good to the screen. Let me roll this clip. We'll come back to talk about it, and let me know what you all think in the comment section. But before I dive into this video, please, I really do want you to be very careful and vigilant. Let me roll the clip.
We turn now to this story. Tonight, 3 Wilmington, North Carolina police officers have been fired after a routine audit of a patrol car camera uncovered what authorities describe as extremely racist comments toward African Americans. Here's CBS's Pe0ple.
An internal probe by the Wilmington Police Department reveals hate-filled conversations with 3 veteran officers. Officer Kevin Piner is heard telling Corporal Jesse Moore that the protest would soon lead to a civil war, and that he is ready. He goes on to tell Moore that he was going to buy a new assault rifle, and soon we are just going to go out and start slaughtering them expletive N-words. Piner says a civil war is needed to wipe them off the expletive map. That'll put them back about 4 or 5 generations. Later, during a phone call with Piner, Moore refers to a woman he arrested as the N-word and says she needed a bullet in her head right then. Donnie Williams is the department's new police chief. He fired the officers on his first day.
When you talk about killing people and generations of people, that is disturbing.
According to investigators, the officers blame their comments on the stress of today's climate in law enforcement. CBS News has reached out to the police union and the 3 officers for comment. So far, they haven't responded. Pe0ple, CBS News, Washington.
This is very, very disturbing. I mean, coming from police department. I mean, I'm trying to wrap my head around this because I don't get this hate. I mean, it's so... Okay, first of all, I am going to say a very big shout out to this young black man that got them fired, because I feel like if it was not a black man there, they probably would go on the leave vacation and come back later to continue the same work, and to even make things worse. People that are supposed to like protect you. Now you know why black people are usually very scared when they are being pulled over, because they don't know who is pulling them over. They don't know what they are going to experience. They don't know what is going to happen. They don't know if they are going to make it alive. And I keep saying that no black person should ever be scared while being pulled over by a white cop or any cop at all, because you are scared. You don't know what is going to happen. You are scared. You don't know if you are going to survive it or not. I mean, things like this should stop. Yes, there is need for this to stop. And I think it's time we stop being scared and face them real time, real good. Because they feel like, yo, they can't do anything. That's why, like, we can do anything to them. They can wake up and say some nasty things and implement it. They are like, let's assume they were not fired. And what if something happens and you hear that Black people are being unalive? It's been a plan, like they've already planned that, right? And I am gonna say this, and I will keep saying it. You all be careful out there, because you don't know who you're dealing with. Please be extremely careful. You know what? Step to the screen. Let me roll the stitches. Then we'll come back to talk about it. So here we'll go.
Well, and soon we are just going to go out and start slaughtering them expletive N-words.
So this is a genuine question to all the people who are like, ACAB is too strong of a phrasing, or people are too hateful of cops, or X, Y, or Z, or just not all cops are bad. And I want you to genuinely tell me, how does a person discern if it's a good cop or a bad cop? How can you hear people say things like that and not just make the assumption that as a collective group, they either agree with this or allow people who agree with this to just continue to have their jobs? Genuinely, I want to know.
Described as extremely racist comments toward African Americans. Here's CBS.
I feel like this is always going to be an issue in America. It don't matter how much we want to get along with each other, it'll never happen, because there's always a select group of people that will always think that they're better than somebody else. The fact that a police sergeant is saying that he wants to take out 4 to 5 generations of Black people, how long have you been on the force, and how long have you been thinking like that? That's crazy. So this whole time you've been thinking about killing Black people and just being the overall racist, how many times do you think this man might have framed a Black person just to get her arrested? As a Black person, man, dot your I's and cross your T's. You never know who might be undercover and might be out to get you, man.
Tonight, 3 Wilmington, North Carolina police officers have been fired.
This is exactly what I was talking about yesterday. Just because not every cop ends up on the news for unaliving a Black man who was suspected of a crime doesn't mean that all cops aren't bad. This was a routine check on just the audio from his patrol car, and 3 officers were fired. These are things that they're saying when they know they're being recorded. Can you imagine what happens when they're not? Do you truly think that someone who makes comments like this can objectively uphold the law? You make one racist comment at the audition for a jury and you're out, but you can be a cop for 25 years before anybody will say anything. Defund the fucking police.
Officers blame their comments on the stress of today's climate in law enforcement.
Last year, I had a very interesting interaction with another local maker. They confided in me and my partner that they were leaving the police force. They referred to this as their dirty little secret. Like, not a lot of people knew that they were a cop, which makes sense because when you're in the small handmade market community, most of us probably don't want to associate with police officers. Anyway, her reason for quitting was, I'm tired of people taking their anger at the uniform out on me. Which totally understandable. You work in any form of customer service, people are taking shit out on you that has nothing to do with you. But the lack of self-recognition in that statement was just really mind-boggling to me. Like, she didn't understand. She was out there enforcing these laws against people based on what they looked like. And then upset when people saw her uniform in the store and assumed that she was one of the cops that killed people. But also not even realizing that, like, you can take the uniform off, babe. But that the racism imbued is still going to be there. If your job makes you racist, you're racist.
The officer
Tonight, 3 Wilmington, North Carolina police officers have been fired after a routine audit of a patrol car camera uncovered what authorities describe as extremely racist comments toward African Americans.
Couldn't have been dumb enough to say anything serious when they knew they were being recorded.
Officer Kevin Piner is heard telling Corporal Jesse Moore that the protest would soon lead to a civil war.
Okay, but maybe as a police officer, he's a little worried about how violent things are going to get.
He goes on to tell Moore that he was going to buy a new assault rifle, and soon we are just going to go out and start slaughtering them expletive N-words.
Well, this is embarrassing. Maybe this is just a reflection of his stress of the dangerous work of police work. I highly doubt that it's like some kind of general disdain for Black Americans that's held over from the way they were treated and viewed decades ago. We've moved past that.
Piner says a civil war is needed to wipe them off the expletive map. That'll put them back about 4 or 5 generations.
Once again, I'm embarrassed. They had just done like a really bad arrest or traffic stop that stressed them out. It doesn't mean that's how they are with everyone that they arrest.
Later, during a phone call with Piner, Moore refers to a woman he arrested as the N-word and says she needed a bullet in her head right then.
I stand before you, embarrassed yet again. Maybe Wilmington just has a really high population of Black residents, and so they're getting a little bit of bias because okay, but of Wilmington's violent crimes, like the majority of them are sexual crimes. And the police officers are probably just tired of seeing the same faces over and over again every time they have to arrest someone for... Okay, well, Wilmington, North Carolina has historically white leadership in their police departments. So that shows that someone in white leadership cared enough.
Donnie Williams is the department's new police chief. He fired the officers on his first day.
Again, I'm embarrassed. I'm sure the officers took accountability. It's not like they were really going to say it's because we were stressed. No one would say that. If your girlfriend cheated on you and said that it was because she was stressed, you wouldn't accept that. Like, that's just a no-brainer. So I doubt these cops...
According to investigators, the officers blame their comments on the stress of today's climate in law enforcement.
I mean, I'm sure they're not going to push the issue under the most ridiculous fucking argument possible.
So this is all we got from the stitches. I don't know whatever they are pushing this to, but man, sometimes I keep, like I always say, sometimes I am not scared of the ones that made it to the media. You can imagine the ones they say behind that is not recorded. I mean, really, I just don't get what is going on. I mean, every day Black people wake up to different stories and threats to their lives and all that. And they think this is cool. I mean, this is not cool. I am happy that they are being fired. And actually, they should be investigated. Because, like, the way it's going, people like this will just wake up one day and, like, you know, open fire on Black people for no just reason. And then they blame it on the stress, like the word stress and all that. I mean, what is going on? This is where I'm going to draw the curtain. I absolutely want to read your comment. And before I go, I am going to say, please be careful out there. Be very, very, very vigilant. I mean, just be very vigilant. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.